What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with another brand new review of Love After Lockup Season 5, you guys. Episode 5. Episode is titled Rome's Not Where the Heart Is. It sure the hell ain't. But before we go ahead and get into that, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video. And with that out of the way, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss this episode of Love After Lockup, shall we? All right, you guys. So I'm gonna go from worst. In this episode, everybody is just whoa. We're gonna start up with Andy and Brittany, you guys. I don't know how many times, how many ways I gotta say it, but Andy is completely oblivious. Andy is oblivious. He's blind. He's less than smart. Like, there are just so many things that I can say about Andy because this man gives dunce a new meaning. If you look up the word dunce in the dictionary, you're going to see Andy's picture sitting right there, right? So you guys remember in the last episode that Brittany left with Gracie, right? And Andy was wondering if Brittany was going to come back. Well, Brittany did eventually end up coming back, right? And Brittany's whole thing was, yes, she took it back with her, right? Because it was dependent upon Gracie's, mindset and how she was feeling. And honestly, I am not upset with Brittany for doing what's best for her and her kids. I have no issues with that. I don't have any issues with how Brittany is handling these things because I do agree with her when it comes to Andy. Andy was absolutely being selfish in that situation, right? It was all about him. Well, we should have got back to Rome, and we should have did this, and it's about we, but it's more so about you and Brittany, not Brittany and her kids. Brittany has been away from her kids for 2 years now, so I'm pretty positive that this woman wants to make amends. Like, she putting herself in prison, it didn't hurt you. You met her while she was in prison. Who it really affected was her kids and her family. So let her spend the time with her family and make the amends that she needs to make with her kids and her family. Like, you are a second thought, Andy, and I don't understand how Andy doesn't see that, or if he does see it, he just doesn't give a fuck, right? So she tells Andy how overwhelmed she is, right? And he was like, well, I think maybe we should, go on and head back home. And I was like, heading home, what does that do for Brittany? That does nothing for this woman. And I'm like, do you not see how awkward she is around? Like, when I tell you guys Brittany is like hella awkward when it comes to Andy, the woman is awkward as fuck. Like, there is so much tension in that scene with him and her that you can cut it with a butcher's knife, right? So they do eventually head back to Rome, right? They get to Andy's house. He's like, well, this has been a bachelor pad for for quite some time. I was like, a bachelor pad, or is this a Airbnb? Because it looked like it didn't even look like anybody lived in that place. Because when his son said he was going to go to the room and lay down, he went to a room where there was a couch in it, not a bed. I was like, unless that's one of them roll-out couches, what the hell is going on here? That whole scene just it was so odd. It was very odd, that scene with them, right? So his son went to the room and laid down. Then he came and told Brittany and Andy he was getting ready to go with the friend, so he left. And Brittany and Andy were sitting in the living room, and it was very awkward with them. Now, granted, Brittany did say that as awkward as she is with him, she's even more awkward with herself, and I do believe that. But I think that the most awkward of the situation is her with him. I think she's more awkward with him. Yes, she may feel a way. It may be a culture shock, shell shock to be out of prison, right? But it's also a fact of you don't like this man like that, and I think she's a little repulsed by him, and I can't say I blame her. Just being honest with you guys. But that's all we got from Brittany and Andy in this episode, you guys. Let's pause here and move forward, you guys. Next up, you guys, Chelsea and Mikey. It ain't much with Chelsea and Mikey to talk about. I will say, though, with Chelsea and Mikey, I actually do like them. I said it last week, and I'll say it again this week. I actually really do like Chelsea and Mikey, right? So you guys remember the night before that Mikey was ready to have a little bit of alone time with Chelsea, right? And he wanted to do Mr. Nasty with her, and he wasn't able to do Mr. Nasty with Chelsea because one, Chelsea got sick, and number two, Chelsea ain't ready to have sex with Mikey, and I don't blame Chelsea, and I'm actually happy that Chelsea is sticking to her guns of not having sex with the man. I'm so glad that she's sticking to her guns, right? But yeah, she got sick, and so he said they did kiss. He did get to touch on her, so he got a little bit of action, not a lot, but he got some action with Chelsea, right? Not as much as I'm pretty sure he wanted. So he also has to go see his probation officer, right? So he went to go see his probation officer, and so he got what his rules are for his probation. So he is able to go to Kentucky, not Kentucky, go to Ohio, right? He can get a 30-day pass, right? I was putting up two fingers. He can get a 30-day pass, and so what he also can do is he can put in a interstate. I forgot what they called it, but it's something that he can put in, and it takes 45 days for them to approve it for him to move from Kentucky to Ohio, where Chelsea is, right? So yeah. So after that, we see him as him and Chelsea. They went to go meet up with his sisters, and they met up with the sisters. So he was talking about how him and his older sister, they are super close to each other, right? And how with them, back in the day, she used to hook up with his friends, he used to hook up with her friends, and so she's also worried about Mikey with the fact that you're just getting out of prison, and you're in this relationship with Chelsea, and then our mom just passed away at the same time, so she's just worried that he might be overwhelming himself. And I get that, and I understand where she's coming from with that, like feeling that he might be overwhelming himself, because I actually think it might be a little bit overwhelming as well. So he also tells them that he does plan on moving to Ohio with Chelsea. He also lets them know that he does want to marry Chelsea. Now, Chelsea says that if he asks her to marry him without talking to her dad first, she's going to say, no, you need to go talk to my daddy and get my dad's permission, to, ask for my hand in marriage. I'm cool with that, right? Now, Mikey is nervous about meeting her dad because, he said every time that, she's on the phone with her dad always got his pistol on the side of him. So he's just a little nervous about meeting her dad, right? What I will say, like I said, I do like Chelsea and Mikey, and I think Chelsea and Mikey, if he stays on the straight and narrow and he stays clean, I think that they can have a really good relationship. And honestly, you guys, if you guys, I'm being honest, I wouldn't mind seeing these two transition into life after lockup. I really wouldn't. Out of everybody that is on this show currently, they're the ones that I would be okay with seeing them transition into life after lockup, and we actually continue to follow their story. I want you guys to tell me what you guys think down in the comment section, you guys. But we're going to pause here, and we're going to move forward, you guys. All right, you guys, so next up, let's talk about Brittany and Key-Rock. I've said it time and time and time again about Key-Rock. Key-Rock is the ultimate gaslighter. Just gaslighter extraordinaire, right? I will say this episode did not make me like Key-Rock that much because I did not like the way that Key-Rock was talking to Brittany, right? So you guys remember the last time we saw Brittany and Key-Rock. Key-Rock had to go to his PO, right? And so they went to the wrong place. And I forgot to mention in the last time that he hung that phone up on her when she was talking to him, like very rude. So then he got in the car with her and he was so snappy with her. And I was like, sir, why are you doing this? And she was like, and he was telling her, I got to get there before 5. She's like, babe, I'm driving as fast as I can. Then he's trying to tell her how to drive. I'm like, and that is the one thing I can't stand in this world is a passenger side driver. I can't stand it. Please do not be in the passenger seat trying to tell me how to drive. If you wanted to drive, you could have gotten in the driver's seat, right? Like, I hate a passenger seat driver. Ooh, I can't stand it. But they eventually made it to the PO's office, right? They made it there just narrowly. And, when they got there, Key-Rock didn't know if anybody was there because Key-Rock opened the door and, started saying hello. But the woman came out and said they had a power outage. I'm like, well, you know what? You wouldn't look because they had a power outage, so they probably doing things by hand. So Key-Rock came out and let us know that he is on probation until the year 2060. I was like, damn, that is a long ass time. We're in, this probably was 22 when they filmed this. We in 23. 2060. Oh, Jesus. That is over 30 years. Lord, let me never run into the law, because 2060? So that means you can't really do much. You're free, but you don't have no fucking freedoms. Jesus the Christ. So, we also saw Key-Rock and Brittany as they went and met who he calls his prison mom, her wife, Coffee? I think that's what they said. Coffee? I think that's what they said, right? So, we found out that Key-Rock does gospel rap. I was like, oh, really? You know what? That fits the narrative, though. I mean, because some of the people who are behind the pulpit, some of the people who are into the church, into that ministry, they will gaslight you. Just my personal opinions, you guys. Don't get offended by what I say. So what else? So they're talking about Key-Rock wanting to do his top surgery, right? Now, I'm pretty positive that shit costs a lot of money, right? I know Key-Rock don't, because I know, people like studs and, men, trans men. I know most times before they just tape their boobs down. And, I always find that the stud this is not to be taken offensively in no way, shape, form, or fashion. It's just something that I've always noticed. Studs. Because I have quite a few friends that are studs, and they got big ass boobs. I always notice that studs have really huge boobs. I'm like, damn, and then they tape them down. Because like I said, I had some friends in high school who were studs. I had one friend in particular who was a stud. Oh my God, I can't even think of her name right now. I haven't saw her in years, but she was a stud. And our freshman year of high school, she kind of pushed in amount of Key-Rock, not exactly, but it's just the fact that when we were in high school, I was a freshman, she was a sophomore. What was her name? Oh my God, what was her name? Was it Melissa? I can't remember. I think it was Melissa. But she had a fade, a ball fade. Now I know she had boobs, but the way she taped them bad boogers down, you would never know. Like, if you ever, like, when we first saw her, because one of my friends was like, one thing, go talk to him, and somebody was like, that is not a boy. And she's like, y'all lying. And even I said, I'm like, that's not a dude? They're like, no, that is a girl. And she was like, no, it's not. And so she went up to her and she tried to holler. And she's like, and she asked her, are you a girl? And she said, yes. And she was like, y'all, she is. But I mean, when I tell you she did the fade herself. Like, it was just because she penciled in. And, wow. But how did I get? Wait. What are we talking about? Oh, I'm talking about studs and how most of them have big, huge breasts. But yeah, Key-Rock wants to get surgery on his get his breast removed, and Coffee says that you don't need to do that, just work out. I was like, huh? Working out ain't gonna shrink your titties. I don't think working out is gonna, like, there's tissue there. Like, you got to get the breast tissue removed. I don't think that that's going to necessarily shrink them, but okay. So we see Brittany and Key-Rock there later in the episode talking about the surgery. Again, Brittany asked a question that I was wondering. I know that costs a lot of money to get that surgery done. Now, I know that it's something that Key-Rock wants to do to feel comfortable in who he is, right? But if you ain't got the means and the money, then that might be something you want to save up for, right? That's what I'll say, save up for. And I will tell you guys, I kind of fell asleep during this part of their scene because I know Brittany was talking. I think Brittany was trying to empathize with Key Rock when she was talking about she wants a BBL. Girl, don't get a BBL. Live with your little booty. If you got, I mean, and it ain't like she got a little booty. Live with whatever you got, right? But I get what she was trying to say. I get what she was trying to empathize. Key Rock, I think, took it the wrong way. Then they had the conversation about kids again. Yeah, Brittany, I think Key Rock was just telling you what you wanted to hear about these kids, because I don't think Key Rock wants kids. I don't think Key Rock wants kids, especially after hearing the process that he would have to go through. You know, he would have to go through a process where basically I think they're going to be pumping estrogen in him and he's going to develop breast and stuff. So I don't think Key Rock wants his girlfriend, but hey, good luck to you. Good luck to you two. I wish you guys nothing but the best. Let's pause here, you guys, and move forward, you guys. You guys, let's just go ahead and get this scene out the way. It was the dumbest scene in the episode, and I just think it was fake and scripted. Renika and that damn PI. I didn't buy that scene at all, you guys. I just literally thought that that scene was fake as hell. Like, nothing about that scene screamed real. From they're in a car ride, right? So the PI told Renika about, after he called the woman, and she texts him back saying that she don't know who he is, but she know that somebody's doing, messing with her, right? So he told Renika that, and I was like, what kind of what kind of a PI are you? You're not giving a real PI, because I don't know too many. I mean, I've never dealt with a PI, but I don't think a PI is supposed to be stealth, not stealth. And nothing you've done has been stealth at all. So I'm just kind of confused. So then they make it to the hotel, right? So he goes into the hotel and he's asking for information on Asante. Now the man told him that he couldn't give him the information, right? So the man was telling him to blink or something if there's someone in that hotel with the name of Asante, right? I don't know if the man blinked or did what he asked him to do. Then he was like, I'm going to write down the numbers of the floors, and you just make them face or something when I get to the floor. So he said, floor number 1, floor number 2, floor number 3, floor number 4. And so he made some kind of a gesture, I guess. I don't know. So then he said, well, if there was someone here by that name, they're in room 403. And so he went back and told Renika. Now, meanwhile, Renika's outside on the phone with her kids. I was like, girl, if you don't go home to your kids, because you look about stupid as hell. So the PI came back to tell her what room Asante is in. She went up to the room and she knocked on the door, and that's where the episode ended, with him opening the door. I was like, this was the fakest scene that I've ever saw. Fake as fuck. But let's pause here and move over to the next couple. Y'all, the next couple is Melissa and Louie. Delusional. If delusional was a person, it would be Melissa, and you would find it in the dictionary with her high school photo next to it. Melissa is still stuck in high school, right? So Louie, he came out from the PO, so Louie is able to go to New Jersey, right? But much like with Mikey, he has to, he can put in for it. He has to wait 45 days for the approval from Atlanta to New Jersey, but it is possible. The only thing that'll really help him, and I'm pretty sure it's the same thing for Mikey, right? The thing that'll help him the most is if he and Melissa were married. And she says, done. I was like, girl, he just got out of prison, and you're still a nutcase and a dingbat. Because at one point, his mama got pissed off and told him, go to hell, right? So she left. So after she left, him and Melissa, they were getting ready to go. They're going on a date, right? While they were going on the way to the date, he's on the phone, and Melissa's like, she's freaking out about him being on the phone. I'm like, lady, the man just got out of prison. I feel bad. I feel bad for Louis if he does have another woman on the side, because if he does, this nutcase right here, she gonna lose her shit. So they go to a dance class, right? They're doing ballroom dancing. Melissa was literally jealous of him and the dance instructor. I was like, Melissa, the woman is teaching him the dance moves to do to you. She's like, well, Louis, you're acting like you know how to do the dance moves better with her than with me. She's the instructor. She is guiding him, you lunatic. Then this fool is talking about this is like the prom for them. I was like, if Melissa don't get her ass out of high school and go see a therapist, there's something wrong with Melissa, you guys. There's seriously something wrong with Melissa. Nutcase. Let's pause here and wrap up this episode. Y'all, y'all, the last scene. Joy and Red. What the hell is wrong with Joy? That's all I gotta say is something's wrong with this woman. There's something seriously wrong with this lady. So she has made it to where his family lives. She went to go visit his mom. She and his mom. She said they talk. I think she said they talk every day almost. And so we found out that his father passed away, and when he was a young boy. He fell in with the wrong crowd. He did graduate high school early, but he said his mom says that he fell in with the wrong crowd, and that's what happened to him, right? So, then we meet his sister. When Joy told us that she bought this man a car, I was like, with what money, girlfriend? Because you literally just went and pawned your grandmother's stuff so that way you can come out here and get him. So the math ain't math, and either you got money or you broke as fuck. One of the two. Which one is it? Because again, 2 plus 2. See 2, 1, and 2. 2 plus 2 is not equaling 4. It's equaling 5 and 6. Because then she said she spent $7,000 on the man. I was like, you spent $7,000 on a man that you've never met, and this man has been in prison for 10 years. So then she and his sister talked, right? So they're talking about her infidelity. I really want us to stop talking about this infidelity as if it's a real infidelity. This man has been in prison for 10 years. So throughout the entirety of their relationship, he has been in prison. So how can I be in a real 100% committed relationship with someone that's behind bars? I'd be the damn. Like, no. So his sister's getting upset. I was like, again, ma'am, your brother is in prison. What do you think this woman's supposed to, like, I don't blame her. Ain't no ring on her finger. And even if it was a ring on her finger, I would still tell her, girl, live your life. I am not doing no prison sentence with you. Absolutely not. Like, and then Joy got in her feelings because the sister's like, you're to blame. And you slept with 3 different men. Okay. Who is your brother sleeping with in prison? Like, we don't know who your brother's messing with. We don't know who your brother's messing with. He could be messing with the guard. He could be talking to multiple women while he's in prison. So let's stop trying to paint Joy off as the bad guy, right? Because we don't know what your brother's doing while he's in prison. Now, do I think Joy is a little stuck on stupid? Yes, I really do. I really, truly do think she's stuck on stupid. But that's the episode, you guys. Please let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comment section below, you guys. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, please stay safe out there, you guys. Take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.